Good morning, everyone. Welcome to BYJU'S exam prep. My name is Alpa Sharma, and this is our editorial analysis. Uh, Good to see you after a long time, after some irregularity in the classes. Last week we were irregular because of the last lab to CLAT being our priority, because CLAT is just around the corner, CLAT 22 at least. And Monday there was a class scheduled, but I had a sore throat. I had a really high fever. I had to get the RT-PCR done, which came out negative luckily. So the classes continue the way it was expected. I am sorry for the irregularity, but I hope now the classes are, if my health continues to be okay, we're going to be very regular with the classes today, okay? And I've got two yes, not daily, Priya. The classes will not happen daily ever now. The classes will always happen on Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays. Monday I took an off because I wasn't well. So today is Wednesday and I'll next see you on Friday. But the classes would be regular now over these days. And today is 15th of June. I actually tried to look out for many articles because we had missed out on a whole week, and I could find two brilliantly written articles that we're going to be discussing today. CLAT is just around the corner, but ma'am, I'm unable to complete the paper in specific time. Please help me. Sameer, bifurcation of time. Remember, stick to the time. Bifurcated. English 20 minutes, 25 minutes. GK 10 minutes. Maths 8 minutes. It could be the other way around as well. Okay? So, bifurcate the time, stick to it. You will be able to complete the paper in time. Yes, the exam is on Sunday. Yes, Tigda, I'm not completely fine, but I'm much better. There's no fever. Thank you so much. You don't have to get tense, my children. No. That's not going to help. Okay, see, let's look at it this way. I know there is a lot of tension, but let's look at it this way. We worked hard. We worked hard for a lot of months. And we know that we worked hard. So we need to keep reminding ourselves that, dude, my hard work is going to pay off. Just remember, don't try to delve into a lot of new things now. You just need to be repetitively working towards revision and practice and revision and practice. You may get some questions wrong during practice, but these are your building blocks, okay? Remember, the more you practice now, the better your chances are going to be that you clear your examination, okay? So just remember, don't fret. You have worked hard and it's going to be worth it. Remember that. Keep reminding yourself. So nothing new, only revision and testing. That's all that you need to do. Good morning, everyone. So now let's see what are the articles that I have brought today. I brought two articles today. Both are from the Hindu. True to the name of the class. Both are from the Hindu. And I couldn't miss them. But then I'll promise you something. Friday, I'm going to be bringing an Aeon article. Okay? The difficult ones. So, usually I'll try to bring an Aeon article on Friday. That's what I've thought about. But today we're going to be doing two articles from the Hindu. Two articles that talk about different things. Bifurcation doesn't help sometimes and I just stick to the question. Sameer, that's your problem, my child. That's the problem. You believe that bifurcation doesn't help. It doesn't help because you stick to the question. Sameer, look at it this way. You don't have to fall in love with a question. If you fall in love, then it's the only one question you're going to be surviving with. The question is going to stay with you forever, but the examination wouldn't love you. You need to love the examination more than the question. There's something that comes up in the head. Okay, dude, I've done this question. I know how it's done. I've given it 5 minutes. 5 more minutes and I'm going to get this correct. I'm sure this comes up into everyone's mind. But you need to know that if I have been unable to solve this question in all this while, the pressure is not going to help me solve this question furthermore. Leave it. Bookmark it for the end. You can do it later on if there's time left towards the end. The same goes for an RC as well. You did not get an RC at the first go, just drop it. Move on to the factual questions, answer that, and move on to an easier one. And that's exactly why I say the first few minutes of the examination should be spent on analyzing what the paper is about and what you're going to start off with. Don't start with randomly the first question that you come across. That's the worst strategy. Please look at the paper. 2 minutes in the beginning. You might actually right now feel, ma'am, I'm wasting 2 minutes by looking at the paper. No, you're saving good 10 minutes towards the end. Look at the paper, see the pattern. Is the pattern consistent? Something has changed or not? What is the difficulty level? Which RC am I going to? So there are 6 RCs that come up in the English section. Which is the one that I'm going to take in the beginning and which is the one I'm going to leave towards the end? So that if something is left, it is something that I'm not comfortable with. It shouldn't be the case the other way around. I hope I make sense, everyone. Do I? That goes for the 23 aspirants as well. Hi, Mukesh. What should be the number of mocks we give? Diya, since you're targeting 23, probably twice a month is okay. Now, getting back to the agenda of the class, let's quickly start off with the vocabulary. What are the topics of 2 articles? I'll disclose that later on. You're going to love them. Okay. So, slide number 1 for vocabulary for today's articles. Time is to control or hinder either the progress of something or the growth of something. So, if you don't eat healthy diet when you are a child, your growth will be stymied, it will be hindered, or it will be basically there's some pressure on it so that you cannot grow or flourish. So pressure on flourishing, control on growth, or preventing growth or progress is stymie. The changes must not be allowed to stymie new medical treatments. So controlling new medical treatments and the progress in new medical treatments is the stymie here. That's the first word. Second word here is devious. Okay, guys, I'm Ragini, Samir, your questions, I'll answer them towards the end of the class, okay? So, obstruction, hiatus, yes, these are related words, Diya, just time. Resist as well is, it is. Then we have devious. Okay, now devious is a very negative word. It's basically using trickery or any unethical activity to achieve some goal. That is devious. He is as devious as a politician needs to be. So he has qualities like a politician does, and he is using trickery or the influence of his position or maybe unethical ways of making things done his own way. That's a devious methodology. Dishonest is devious. Yeah, it is. Thwart can be stymie, Priya. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Foil, shackle, block for stymie. Yes, that's correct. Ineffectual. So, ineffectual comes from ineffective. Ineffective is ineffectual. Something that doesn't give you desired output, doesn't give you desired result, unintended one, not really happy with the outcome is ineffectual. The ineffectual campaign, the campaign did not lead to the desired impact, desired result. So thus the campaign is called here as an ineffectual one. So you can easily link it to ineffective. And the last word for the slide, devious can be used as a positive word. No, Diya. It has a negative connotation. Okay. Rohan, I will not cover up current affairs, my child. I'm going to be covering up the language section. Okay. Fulfills the requirement of the job. I didn't get you, Sakhi. All right. So the last word for the slide is a cavalcade. A cavalcade is basically a formal procession. For example, the 26th, the Republic Day Parade, or maybe the Jagannath Yatra. So these are examples of cavalcade. They are processions usually with vehicles and horses and animals and band baja. So all of that is a cavalcade, the royal cavalcade. But then we don't have royal cavalcades anymore. We have the Republic Day parades. That's a cavalcade. And we have the very, very famous Jagannath Yatra. That also is an example of a cavalcade. Slide number 1. Take a screenshot, everyone, very quickly. Lame, unfit, rotten, failed, vain. Yes, Ragini, they are synonyms to ineffectual. They are. Cavalcade is a parade. It is, Satya Pratap. Hi, Anil. Good morning. All right. Okay. So, slide number 2. Here we go. Burgeoning is flourishing. Growth, proliferation is burgeoning. So manufacturers are keen to cash in on the burgeoning demand. It's rapidly increasing. That's burgeoning. Proliferating, flourishing, increasing. These are synonyms to burgeoning. The election parade as well. Yeah, how could I miss that out? Yes, the election parade. Then next word, Shanghai. Does it come from Shanghai? We're not referring to the place Shanghai. We're referring to another meaning associated with the word Shanghai. Shanghai is coercively getting your job done. You are in a position, you are in an influential position, and you're using your power, your influence to get things done in a coercive manner, probably through threat or trickery, is shanghaied. Brady shanghaied her into his Jaguar and rode off. So because he had a Jaguar, he was in an influential position, and then I did not write the sentence, okay? The Google did. So he shanghaied, that is, used his influential position and tricked her to get into his Jaguar, and he rode off. That's what shanghaied is. Okay. Burgeoning for mushrooming, swelling, booming. Yes. Alluring. Okay. Tact is shanghaied. It is. Tact is shanghaied. You're right. Okay. The next word, indictment. Indictment is basically a situation that deserves blame, that deserves criticism. These rapidly escalating crime figures are an indictment for our society. It's a bad situation, a situation that deserves criticism and blame and censuring and condemnation. That's indictment. A bad situation in layman terms is indictment. So you look at the example. I hope that's clear to everyone. Blossoming for burgeoning is correct, Snigdha. Grandiose for shanghaied. No, Diya. I'll disagree with that. Okay. Duping, rather, Stuti, is a close word to shanghaied. Okay. Yes, Stuti, you're right. Okay, and the last word, anomaly. Something that's odd. It doesn't fit with the surrounding. It's not usual. It moves away from what commonly is seen or commonly is done. Is an anomaly. So, for example, there are blood reports that come up and the hemoglobin comes as 4, 6. That's an anomaly. That's not usual. Usual should be 11 plus, 10 plus maybe at least. Okay, so that's an anomaly. Something that deviates from what is standard or what is normal is anomaly. There are a number of anomalies in the present system. So, a number of things that are weird, unexpected, and not normal is an anomaly. Slide number 2 with many new words today. Take a screenshot, everyone. Diya, that too is a related word. Out of the box, oddity, Kaveri, very good word for anomaly. Yes, oddity is. Prosecution, Akansha, for which word? Gauri, this class doesn't come on the app, it only comes on YouTube. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. Galvanize for shanghaied is a related word. Deviation, okay, yeah, for anomaly is correct. Okay, so I think we're done with the slide. We have one more word left, and that's this one, gloating. That feeling of superiority that I am able to do everything and everybody else is failing. So that pleasure that comes out of someone else's misfortune and you being too proud of your achievement rather is gloating. Gloating accounts of his triumph. He was victorious. Everybody else wasn't. but he was too proud of that. The loss that everyone else faced and the victory that he faced. Being a lot of uh, arrogant about that is gloating. That arrogance is gloating. Okay, I hope you get all the words, everyone. Yeah, exactly, Priya. You're right. Exactly, Priya. Very good. Very good. Yes. Audacity for Shanghai is wrong, Snigdha. No. No. It's a related word, not a synonym, okay? Smug, condescending, these are related words. You have to read newspapers daily, Mr. Qureshi. You have to read the newspapers daily. Gloating, I'll explain again. So Kirti, gloating is that feeling of I am too superior. Everybody else is very inferior and I am too proud of my superiority and I'm very happy when everybody else loses. That feeling is gloating. Satya Pratap, slightly yes, but indirectly. You've got a good idea. You've been coming to my snobbish is a related word, Ayushi, for gloating. It is. Okay? Alright. So Satya Pratap, you've been coming regularly to my classes, so you, I think, are able to guess what the topic is going to be. You are very close, but you're not completely right. Before I move on to show you a brilliantly written article and we learn many things through that, you need to know we have a flat 20% off going on all our online classroom programs. Use the code UNLOCK20, unlock your potential, enroll yourself right away for the programs. If you want to know more about our programs, you can speak to our counselors on this number. And if you're targeting CLAT 2023, a comprehensive combo course has just been launched. So CLAT 23 in December, barely 6 months away, not even 6 months now. So rush up, enroll yourself right away if you want to make the most of the time that's left. We shall see you in the classes very soon. Now, without using Google. So Priya, I've got 2 articles. One links to war, one links to economy. That's exactly what we're going to be doing today. Slightly economic, slightly warish. If I can use the word warish. Okay. It slightly relates to war as well. So, okay. Without using Google, who will tell me the meaning of the phrase catch 22? No Google, okay? If you don't know, I'm ultimately going to explain this to you. So, no gloating here that I know and you don't know that. No gloating here, okay? If you know the meaning, just tell me. If you don't know, it's okay. We're going to know this in the passage. What's the meaning of the phrase catch 22? End result, okay. Good guess, Tuti. Others? Nobody else? Okay. Now let me tell you something about the phrase catch 22. It's okay if you don't know. It's okay. Okay. Do you know this is a very common phrase and where was this phrase originated from? This phrase was originated from the book that was titled Catch 22. So there was a book Joseph Heller had written and this book in 1961 was titled as Catch 22. The book became so popular over the years that the dictionary, that the lexicon is a word for a dictionary, that the lexicon decided to put this phrase in its list of words. Imagine how famous the book would have been. Let's understand what the book talks about. Let's understand what the phrase means through the context of the book. Read the page, send me a done when you're done. Sharvari, it did. Okay, Priya. Okay, Ayushi. Okay, Dia. Gauri, good word. Yes, Tuti. So you see, it's simple, right? Yosarin is the protagonist in Catch 22, okay? And if you haven't read the book, this article may be a difficult read for you. If you don't know what is Catch 22, even if you know that, this article may be a difficult read for you if you haven't read that. Because right now it looks easy, it's going to pick up, the pace is going to pick up, okay? And it's going to get difficult. So we're going to understand what the story is about and what's the specifically satire and tragedy is in the novel. Okay, so Yosarin is the protagonist. The book is written by Joseph Heller. The name is Cash 22, and the beginning is very simple and catchy, and everybody loves the book. And this phrase has been borrowed by the dictionary as one of the most popular phrases, and it's there in the dictionaries. Now, this book is famous for being savagely satirical and heartbreakingly tragic. So, it starts off as a very simple one. But we need to understand what is the satire here. If you've read Animal Farm, or for that matter of fact, any of the George Orwell books, you will understand satire. If you've been coming regularly to my classes, my paid or the free classes, you would also know what satire is. For those people who do not know what satire is basically a humor with a tinge of criticism to bring out the criticism in a social cause. That's what a social issue. That's what a satire is. In Hindi, you could call it kataksh. Okay. Uh, if you know what that means. But English, I've already explained that. So that's basically there's something going on wrong in the society and you want to bring it out. But rather than bringing it out violently and aggressively, you bring it out in a humorous manner by making fun of it in a joking manner. That's what satire is. So we'll have to understand what is the satire in the book and what is the tragedy in the book. Okay. So Captain Usadin is the protagonist. The book is based upon the Second World War and the adventures Usarin has. Simple language. Read the page, everyone. It's from the Hindu's text and context. Yeah, Vyangya. Exactly, Snigdha. That's the word for that. Kataksh would more be criticism. You're right. It is close to sarcasm, but it is different. I'll tell you what's the difference. First, read the page. It is, Ashi. Good observance. The first paragraph in this page may actually explain what exactly is the meaning of the phrase catch 22. So we usually say, I'm in a catch. It's a catch. You are unable to decide what should we do. That's exactly what Usarin Yossarian was stuck with. So Yossarian was he was a part of the Army Air Corps, okay, and he was given two choices. Of course, he wanted to get back home safe. Who wants to fight in a war? Nobody. Everybody wants to stay back at home safely. Okay. So he was given a choice. The choice was it was a circular argument. It was circular. Now see how circular is, it goes on and on and on, and there's no escaping here. The circular argument was that if you want to be grounded, you have to fly more missions. So more missions and you'll be grounded. But then the moment you're grounded, you have the fear of your own life. Your life may be destroyed. So you fly more missions. And when you fly more missions, then also your life can be destroyed. So it's basically a circular thing. It's a fix you are stuck in. It's a difficult situation and you don't know what to do. Whatever you choose will lead to something bad or the other. That exactly, my children, is what Catch 22 is. This was the agreement he was in. It was a circular one. The circularity of Catch 22 is echoed in its structure, which for all its apparent chaotic haphazardness is meticulously put together with each pass of an event, uncovering more details from a different perspective. So, he is stuck in a difficult situation in a layman language and he is unable to move out of that situation. That exactly is what Catch 22 is. Okay. Now, this I don't think is a very difficult paragraph. It only gives you the background of the story and then that's all. Yeah. So Snowden is another person who is introduced here, another character of the story. He spilled his secret on the aircraft floor. So he spilled some secret. I'll not tell you what secret is. The secret is because if you go on to read the book later on, I don't want to disclose what the secret is. You enjoy the book later on, okay? So he spills some secrets in the story here. Now see, before I show you the next paragraph, I'll give you some background of the story. Now, Yossarian is stuck in a difficult situation, okay? And he has no escaping. So he comes up with a brilliant idea. He says, my liver is not functioning well. Take me to the hospital. I think I have jaundice. They take him to the hospital. And then he's in the hospital. The nurses, the doctors, they hate him. They hate him for various reasons, but one, they hate him because his situation doesn't seem to be improving at all. It's not deteriorating, it's not improving. He's just in the hospital and not improving at all. And similarly, like him, there are more such people who should have fought in the war, yet they're in the hospital either genuinely for some ailment or making up some ailment in their head so that they can escape the Catch 22. Yes? Did you get it? Okay, now let's read this paragraph. This paragraph gives you a background of what I had just explained. It starts off lightly underlying the absurdity of war, military bureaucracy. Obviously, because it talks about war, it's going to be talking about these two. Yossarian is in the hospital being just short of jaundice. He's just short of jaundice. He doesn't have jaundice yet. And he's declaring war on all the articles. Now, what is declaring war on all articles? Understand this carefully. Whatever. So these patients who were in the hospital, they were supposed to fight in the war. And if they wanted to send letters to the families, these letters would be censored, highly censored, because they could not give out their location or anything else about the internal details of the war. So everything was censored. The street names were censored, the articles were censored, the salutations in the letters were censored, everything. So whatever they posted to their family, it wouldn't pass through without censoring. So that also brings out the absurdity of the war and the military bureaucracy. Yossarian, like the rest of the world, takes hearty dislike for the well-meaning Texan. Now, who is this Texan? This is a soldier from Texas who comes in. Okay? And Okay, anything in the chat? Now, there's a Texan, a person who comes from Texas who is also a soldier, and everybody in the ward, they hate this Texan. Why do they hate him? He is a person who was admitted in the hospital. He gets well and leaves. So everybody says, why are you even leaving? They'll make us leave as well. We want to stay here. We don't want to go to the war front. Why do you, for the sake of God, not stay in the hospital like everyone else does? So that's exactly why they hate this well-meaning Texan. Everybody in the ward hate him. And they wonder why the soldier in white, this Texan is a white man, he needs to be the medium for those two bottles of liquid being pumped and in and out of him. So basically, there's a bottle of liquid that's pumped in and there's a bottle of liquid that's pumped out. That's the situation of the hospital that's being explained here. So everybody hates him. Why are you moving out of the hospital? That's the background of the story. Okay. Now let's see what moves on with the story. Yossarian's world is filled with quirky characters from his tent mate, evil-eyed mechanically, aptituded or who walked around with crab apples. These are merely characters of the story. Are we able to figure out exactly what this satire is here? Because the story said it's satirical and it's tragic. The story goes on. Are we able to figure out the satire? Let me see who knows this. What is the satire here? Anyone? Could you guess the satire? I'll wait. They're meant to fight the war, being responsible for the safety of the country. They are, Gauri. But who likes wars? And Gauri, were they not coerced into a catch-22 which they could not escape? Yes, they were. It was coercion. To escape that catch-22, they are in the ward. Okay? Okay? Good guess. Let's figure out what the satire here is. Don't read this paragraph. It is only the background of the story. You will not get anything as the satire here. Not necessary. Read this paragraph. The final segment of the book returns to 1944, but is much darker. Now comes up the satire. The beginning was good, humorous with the phrases like, oh well, what the hell? Or maybe with lots of education and zero brains. It's light-hearted, it's humorous, but then the end is much darker. With the spilling of Snowden's secret. You remember Snowden had spilled a secret at the floor of the aircraft in the beginning? And the death of most of Yossarian's friends and comrades. So now that the war is over, the secret is out. The secret about, I'll not disclose that, okay? So that you can enjoy the book later on. And his friends are dead because they could not escape the catch-22. His surreal walk through a bombed out Rome in the ironically named chapter, The Eternal City. That is the satire. Do you see that? The city is named the Eternal City. The chapter is named the Eternal City for Rome. But when he walks through Rome, it is not the Eternal City possibly. It's a bombed out one with only debris remaining and dead soldiers here and there. It's an uneasy cavalcade of haunting images. So, war and its outcomes could be a satire here. Yes, do you agree, everyone? Exactly, Karthik. That's what's happening now. Is he trying to escape when he should be escaping people and now they're dead? What he had escaped for? Yes, that's a question that might come up to his mind as well. Let's see something else about the story as well. Yes. This paragraph is not, that's it. That is important. Yes. So Heller, the writer of Catch-22, it's been set up during the time of the World War II. But then some people say it was about the Korean War. and the burgeoning commercialism as well. How burgeoning commercialism? Let's look at an example from the book. He included anachronistic details in the novel such as the malfunctioning of the IBM computer. Commercialism that Shanghaied a zoologist into the war effort. So this is an example of rapidly increasing commercialism yet giving us negative impact. And the Korean War and the World War, everything else. It's a criticism of the 1950s. Catch-22 was wholeheartedly embraced by the flower power generation as a damning indictment of the Vietnam War as well. So, in short, it's a criticism to wars and it's a criticism to the rapidly increasing commercialism as well. Yes, Ashi, I have. Catch-22 is the situation where one can't decide they should fight. According to the book, it's the situation where he can't escape the war. He has to fight for the war. Do or die. That's the situation he has. Okay. So this paragraph I don't think is important. Come to the last one. Read this page, this paragraph only. And then I'm going to be asking you questions. Alright, Kameshwari, please read the last paragraph. Exactly, it indicates wars. And the last paragraph is a conclusion. You'll see why this whole story was explained to you. Oh, by the way, did you like the session? Like does not mean like it from the heart. Like means like it with by clicking on the like icon, okay? Now, let's understand the last paragraph, everybody. So, 60 years on. The book was written 60 years back. Yossarian's take on the horror and absurdity of the war strikes a chord with another Snowden spilling secrets. So, what was the theme of the book? Snowden spilling secrets? Yossarian's take on the horror and absurdity of the war? Can we see something similar happening today? Yes, we can. And the order to play the national anthem in theatres reminiscent of the glorious loyalty of Oath Crusader with the roar, "Give me eat." It's basically 60 years on. Everything that the story mentioned, we see a hint of it satirically still in what's happening today in the world. That's why Catch-22 will be a masterpiece. Yes, that is the catch here. Okay, so I hope you understood the article because literature-based articles are pretty popular in CLAT. I just could not miss out on this. And something of this can easily come up in the examination. I'll be glad if it does. Now, you have to tell me, I'll give you the summary of this article, okay? You have to tell me the tone. The summary here is that it describes what Catch-22 is about, why it's a masterpiece, and why it's still relevant today in today's times. That's the summary of the article that we just read. What exactly is the tone here, everyone? True, Ashi, it is. Expository, it is. It could be narrative as well. Stuti, that's one common mistake that people do. Please listen to me very carefully. I am talking about a book. The book is a satire. But my language is not a satire, my child. My language is explaining that book. Don't go by the content of the book. Go by what is the aim of writing this article? Yeah, Ashrita, we start at 10. So, catch me live on Friday again at 10. Diya, the same mistake. You're doing the same mistake. Gauri, you're doing the same mistake. The book Cash 22 is satirical. The content is not satirical, my children. The content of the book is, the content of the article isn't. That's expository or descriptive. Or analogy maybe towards the end, where the author tries to build an analogy between the book and the real situation. Okay? Yes. So it could be expository, narrative, descriptive, or analogy. Yes. Now guys, I had bought another article. Give me a second. But before I show you the next article, CLAT 22 is right down the weekend. Make sure you catch us live with our detailed exam analysis by Srinivas sir and Nivedita ma'am on 19th of June, 6 p.m. Make sure you attend this live and know exactly what the paper was about and how did it go. Don't miss out on this. Now, I bought another article on populism, but I don't think we have a lot of time because the article is long. But I'll give you a little bit of gist about it, and you can go back home and read this article so that you understand it, okay? So, populism, what do you understand by the phrase populism? Who's going to tell me that? And everyone who joined me late, did you just like my video yet? If you haven't done that, please do that. Do me this little favor. Thank you so much, everybody. If you've done that already, like and share, like and share, like and share. Thank you. Okay. Now, what's populism? What do you think is populism? It's one phrase that comes across, that comes in the newspapers many times. And editorial articles and RCs as well. Popular culture, okay. All right. Anybody else? What's populism according to you? All right. Now, let me give you a gist of this, then you can read this article later on at your home. So, there's an anomaly in the society. The anomaly is, for example, this hierarchy where the majority of the income is stagnant here. And here we are the commoners. Okay. So, these are commoners. These are elite. Populism uses the word elite. These are the elite. The income, the capital, the money in the market and the country is saturated here. So these people, the commoners, they have a disregard for the elite. And then comes the phrase populism. Populism basically is a political philosophy or ideology that speaks for the commoners, where there is an anomaly in the society, where there is a distinction between the elite and the commoners. That ideology is populism. Okay, I'll do that. You can call it majoritarianism, you can call it popular nationalism. Yes, you could call all of these words as populism. What most of the people follow, okay. Now, there's an anomaly. And this whole article focuses repetitively on two things, okay? Democratization and populism. This article says democratization is burgeoning, is rapidly increasing because of spread of education, growing reach of the market, and communication revolution, because everybody has a phone and everybody has access to social media. And one vote, one value is the thing these days. Democratization is increasing rapidly. Yet, The inequality in income also is increasing. What is this paradox? The paradox here is democratization increasing, yet the inequality in distribution of income also increases. Economic inequalities also has increased exponentially. This article focuses on comparing economic inequalities increasing and democratization also increasing simultaneously, showing it as a paradox. I hope you've understood the gist of the paragraph, everyone. Please read that. This appeared last week's in the last week's Hindu, not in the text and context, but the regular paper. Okay, I am sharing today's Hindu and Indian Express in the background. Let's see what are the important articles that you should be reading and what are the articles that you can miss out on. Okay, please give me a second. Hindu is here. And Indian Express is here. Let me show you Aeon as well. Just a minute, guys. Yeah, here we go. Is it visible in the background, everybody? Let's have a look at June 15th. Yeah. Okay, so okay, you can skim through it. Nothing very important. And the war, skim through it. Skim through it. The cyber weapons, skim through it. Nothing, something very important to fret about. Yes, this is important. Read it carefully. So is this one. Please read that carefully as well. Let's look at the text and context. Guys, please don't miss out on text and context. They have brilliant articles. See this one, for example. Are these AIs becoming conscious? Read this brilliant article. Leave this. And the what's this? No, don't read this. Let's have a look at the Aeon. So in Aeon, please read this. Political philosophies are important. Please read this. Gender and identity. When you're done, you stay human. Okay. You could skim through it. Yes. Beautiful. Please read this article. Okay. Let's have a look at the opinion page. No, neither of it. Skim. Yeah, skim. Yes, read this. K-pop band BTS turns 9. And why is I-pop still far behind? You would like to read this? That's all I think from today. Yeah, that's all from today. Okay, guys, so that is it. Ending the class now, guys. I will see you on Friday then. Have a very, very good day. God bless you. Bye, everyone.